Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all having a fantastic day and happy Thanksgiving to all the US. It's kind of a rainy, dreary day here, but it's a good day to art. So if you're unable to get out and visit and you're just kind of home on your own, I hope you'll get out your paints and paintbrushes and paint along with me. I'm going to be doing a snowman today. And I have this really cute little snowman that uh, I've had for many, many years, patterns. And I'm able to use the pattern because they allow teachers to use it for their students or for teaching. So if you're interested, I will put a link down below after this stream where you can download the pattern for this. This is the little snowman we're going to be doing. Hey, Linda, Dot, good to see you. So if you're interested in doing this, and you can change this up as much as you want. And yeah, I'll leave a link for you guys to use. So you'll have to wait till my videos finish processing for you to get that information. So what I thought I was going to do the painting on is this scrapbook paper. So I have this, it's kind of a grayish teal color. It's showing more blue teal on the screen. I don't know if I can fix that or not. Just let me see. Sometimes teal colors are really hard to change up. That's a little better. Yeah, that's a little better. So we're going to be using craft paint. If you have Artist Quality or Liquitex student grade, that's fine too. Hey, Brenda, good to see you. Yeah, so I'll have this for you in a link after the video is uploaded. I'll leave a link for you and you can download it and do it yourself if you want. It's something to do if you're stuck at home and unable to celebrate with your family or loved ones. It'll give you something to do. And who doesn't love snowmen? So what I'm going to do is, this is just scrapbook paper. I already put it on this is a file folder that I've done. I'm going to do some journaling in here. And this is just some of the art that I have done this month. And this is the file folders that we did for each month. So it's a great little way to keep your loose sheets. And you can do them whatever way you want. So I just glued it on. I actually put it on with a matte medium so that it's really well adhered. I don't want any buckling. I'm just using a Canadian brand of matte medium. Now I do want to put a coat on top because this is paper. So you don't want your paint soaking into that paper and unable to move. And if you make a mistake, when you have matte medium on your substrate, you're able to move it. Look at my looking for, I don't know where I put my, paper towels. Where did they go? I'm going to need them. I might have to go get another roll. So I like to put a fair amount just so that I know there's no visible openings of the paper that will show once you put paint on it. It tends to be soaks into the paper, and it tends to be a little more darker in color too when you don't put any kind of a medium on top of your substrate. If you're interested in having more patterns to paint by, you can go to my membership, my join button on the bottom of this. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see membership, and just click on that. And the first tier, which is $2.99 a month, you are given all the traceables for all the paintings I have on my YouTube. So you get to see the video. A lot of them are a little bit fast forward, but you can still see what I'm doing. If you want a step-by-step, you can go to level 2, which is the budding artist, and it will give you a step-by-step for each of those videos. Also in level 1, which is the artistic seedlings, they are also given any kind of digi sheets that I put out. Like I did a lot of leaf printing, and I put out quite a few of those for them to download. So take a look at that if you're interested. Let's dry this. We want to make sure it's good and dry. And I hope you're all having somewhat of a good day for your Thanksgiving in the US. I know it's probably not what you're used to, but we still really have to give thanks for what we have. Make the best of what you have. Myself, I always like to look on the positive side of things. I know there's a lot of things going wrong in this world, but there's so much good and positive things that we have in our lives. And I like to concentrate on that. Now what I'm going to do here is, once this is good and dry, I want to make sure it is really good and dry, because we're going to put a tracing on top of this. If you make a mistake, it's kind of hard to erase the tracing, because if it's damp, it soaks into that matte medium and you're not going to get it up. Hi, Nashwa. All right. So let's see. Get my tracing paper somewhere. You can get the carbon copy papers from Staples or wherever. There's Sorel too that you can get. It's a really good transfer paper. Comes in many different colors too. Just make sure you put it face down, because you don't want to spend all that time tracing. And you can also make these smaller or larger if you want. So I'm going to put him right in the center here. And I'm going to put some, hey Teresa, hi Dot. I'm going to put some tape on there to hold it down so I can lift it up without moving it at all. You don't want to move it. And if you take, this is just copy paper, so I'm just going to use a pen or a pencil that's not too sharp, because you don't want to break the paper. Let's see. Okay. Now you want to just go over all your lines. Now I should have done this beforehand, so sorry. So you can discuss things among you. How's things going? Are you doing a big dinner, or are you just making do with what you have? Is it turkey for you, or do you like something else? What's your tradition? Now this is a decorative painting pattern. I'll show you the book in a minute. It's the only book in this series that you're allowed to use in a class. So if you were thinking that I shouldn't be using this, it's okay. They've put it in the copyright that I can use it as a teaching class. So I will leave a link after the video where you can download this for free and try it out yourself. It's really cute. I love these ones. They do quite a few different books of this. What's it called? Between the Vines, I believe, is the book. This is the Christmas one. It's got gingerbread in it and different scenes. Their whole series is very cute. You got to go. I believe she has a website. You can go and get other books, order them from her. I just love the little pudgy snowman and the cute faces. Just something to smile at. And I thought it'd be cute for the last page of my November file folder. You can always change them up, colors. Put different scarves or different hats. Doesn't matter what type of pattern you do, you could always change it. You can change the background. You could add things that might be more 3D. Like here, there's a button. I could put an actual button on this if I wanted to. They're cute. And I'm doing it on the scrapbook paper because I have a ton of it. I know a lot of yous have probably just as much as I do or more. And I like using it for painting on also. Some of them are perfect backgrounds. Okay, let's see. Less than normal. Turkey Day. Won't be able to come home from that. Well, try and enjoy their day. Look at the good things. Hey, Nancy. typically your turkey day? It's your bigger day. Is it bigger than Christmas, Dot? Here in Canada, our Thanksgiving isn't all that big thing. We're more Christmas, and our Thanksgiving was a month ago. Okay, let's see what else everyone has today. Won't be the same this year. Yeah, keep positive. I know you're tired. Things will get better. Now I have all these little twigs things. You don't have to put this on. Like I said, you can do whatever you want. Just because it's a pattern doesn't mean you have to do all the things on it. I like to change mine up quite a bit. But for just learning how to do this, I'm going to stick to the pattern. So I don't want to confuse anybody. This one is going to be a gray, kind of a grayish mauve hat. And he's going to have a green scarf. Like I said, I'm going to be doing it in craft paint, mostly Americana craft paint. You can use whatever you want. I will tell you what the colors are that I am using. If you want to stick to the exact colors, you can do that too. Or you can try and make your own colors. I will try and give you some suggestions if you're using artist grade or student artist grade, so you can do it yourself if you don't have the craft paint. It's all right if I miss a few of these, but what I got now. Yep. Okay. Just have to put the little heart in here. I'm just going to draw a heart and I'll know what has to go in there. All right. So there's my outline. Oh, I forgot to do around there. Got there. Hi, Bill. Good to see you. Okay, so we're gonna get my palette ready here. I have one that I usually use a couple depending on how much mixing I have to do. So, oh yeah, I was going to show you. This is the book. This is really cute. And this is the little guy we're going to do. So it's got all the instructions. There's lots of different things in this book. Santa's, gingerbread man, what else? Little, I think that's, yeah, Santa's and gingerbread man and Snowman. It's a cute book. All right. So first of all, we have to put a base coat on. So we're not going to worry about the background. I'm going to keep it this color. What they're saying is we're going to use sand color or a kind of like a fawn color, sandy. So the one I could find is I got light buttermilk in Americana, and I could only find the Bambi brown. So I figured fawn, Bambi should be close enough. So those are the colors that they're putting in the background, but I already have my background. So if you want to do straight from a bare canvas or white background, these are the colors that you have to use, and you kind of model it. So it's a little of the Bambi brown, a little of the buttermilk. So we're going to do a light buttermilk first. So make sure you shake your buttermilk up. We'll put a bunch of that on there. So it's not a white, it's off-white. So if you got a buff color, that would do also in your acrylic artist grade. I know some of them are a little bit darker than others. If it's a little bit darker, just add a bit of white to it. Hey, Mark. This is a soft black. Any black will do. And what else? So we need that for the buttons and the eyes. And then what they're using is called Rockwood Red in Americana. I don't have that one, but I do have Candy Bar Brown. So it's a little on the reddish side. So that's what we're going to use for the nose. The nose is kind of a pink color. Well, not pink, but. So there's my colors so far. You want to get them out on a plate. Let's base coat in our little guys here. Now, if you want to, you can go right over top of your face. Sometimes it's a little easier, and then just take your pattern that you have and you can put it back on afterwards. So I'll do that for you. I'm just using a bright brush, and it's a 1/2 inch, and it's a nice straight shader brush. I gotta get some paper towels. They're a must. Gotta have paper towels. Or a rag, whatever you have. Okay. I don't want a lot of water on my brush when I'm doing this. I always just wipe my brush. So get a lot of, you want to just base coat this little guy, his head and his body in this buttermilk color. If you find your paint is fairly see-through, it's not very opaque, you can put a second coat on. That's okay. A lot of times you will have to do that, especially in your lighter colors. Like reds and yellows are also another one that tends to be a little on the transparent side. I like using shader brushes or angled brushes. I find they're a little easier to get into little crevices and do a straighter edge too in areas. So when you're putting on a second layer, you really do have to make sure this layer is dry, or if you go on top of it when it's damp, it'll actually lift your previous coat of paint. So I'm just going right to the edge of that pattern. Again, you can go over the small bits if you want, and then just put them back in with your pattern again. That's the easiest way. It's better to do that than struggle with the little bits and pieces, because then a lot of times you get streaks in your body or whatever you're painting. So get on a fairly good coat. Try and get it as even as possible. I'm just going to put that button back in later. So I'm probably going to have to go in and give this a second coat. You can either use your hair dryer or a heat gun, or you can wait and let it dry on its own. Go have a coffee. This is relaxing. Just take your time, enjoy the process. Or you could do another area while that's drying. You can tell whether it's dry or not by if it feels cold, it's not dry yet. Just going to give this another coat to make sure it's got a good layer on it so I don't see too many brush marks. It's all right if it's a little blotchy. The snowman they aren't smooth. That's still wet. Dry this. Yeah, you're working on cards, Brenda? That's good. Nice relaxing day. I love doing this type of art because it's not realism, so it's much easier to just enjoy it, not worry about whether it's looking like something. And just enjoying the zone. These are great in your journals too. Or make up a bunch of stickers. They would be cute for stickers. You can do that on your computer. Then use them in your daily journal. It's always good to look through your art journals and take some photocopies of certain parts of your journals and reuse them. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Might put a little more on here. Still looking a little. There. Okay, so you can still see a little bit, but it's not bad. You won't notice that after everything's done. Make sure you clean out your brush. And dry it, and then put those features back in your painting. That should be done. Yep. Make sure it cools down before you start painting again, because your paint will dry instantly. So if you make a mistake, there's no taking it off. So always let your page cool down. So we need to make the drawing back on. So we have to place it back to where it was. Well, this could be tricky. I should have just left it on there. My finger where the top of his head. Oh, that's got to go there. Where the scarf meets. Or where's okay. Well, that's what I did wrong. I covered part of the scarf. I must have forgot a bit. Yep, that works. Pencil. I'm just going to put eyebrows in. See if that looks right. Yep. Put the eyes back in. Whole nose. So if you do this yourself and you want to mark on the top where your tape was, just so you have a mark, just in case you have to readjust it again. Okay, this was a bit I forgot. I think that's on the button. That's it. All right. So I'm going to get out a, let's see, a round brush just so I can do the smaller areas. You don't want a really big one, but let's see. Fine one. There's one. I'm not sure what the number's not even on it anymore. It's an old one. Okay. So I want to take some of that soft black and just fill in the button. So this is what you normally do is you base coat your areas, and it's all about the shading and highlighting that make the painting. So when you're doing this on your own without a pattern to go by, you look at your base color. That's usually either a really dark or a medium shade, depending on what you're doing. Like animal hair, it's usually a gray or a medium brown, and then you do your darks and your lights on top of that. Hey, Joan. Hi, Christine. Good to see you all. Little eyes could probably go in. Now you can do it with a brush pen if you want. If you have a paint marker, this would work really good. Or if you have a really narrow script liner, you could use that. This one's a little bit too wide to be using for that, so I'm gonna have an angled brush here. Let's see if I can get in there a little easier. There. All right. So any questions? Okay, first we have to do Mississippi Mud, which is this color here. It's kind of a brownish, it's got a little bit of pink in it, I think. What time is dinner? We just need a little bit. And this is going to be for doing my shading. The brush is going to be clean if it had black on it. you want to use a shading brush. So this is a 1/2 inch bright shader. So you want it side load. So side loading is you just dip your paintbrush in and you go back and forth until you got enough paint in that one side. You don't want to have the whole brush with paint on it, just the one side. This can be a little tricky, so you kind of have to work at it. You can't have too much water and you can't have too much paint. It's kind of a Goldilocks thing. So we want to go down the side, and it's the paint that's on the, if you want to test it too, you can test it. So take a piece of paper if you don't know what side it's on. Now that had too much paint on that. So I think I'm going to put some acrylic glazing. Shading with glaze on your brush is a little easier, I find. So I just dip my brush in that, and then I do the same thing. But this time I'm working in the paint with glaze. So I want to so it's just giving it a bit of a shade down the sides of the outer edge of the snowman. So if you want to practice this first, it'd be a good idea if you're not sure if you're going to be able to do it. This is where his arm is. You can also take your brush and just water if you find there's too much in an area. I'm going to take some of that off. A little bit dark. Around his face, just a smidge, not a whole lot. Want a little more on this side. Just a little bit more. There. The name of the book is, I don't know, you might have a hard time finding it. There it is. She does have a website, and it's the Between the Vines website by Jamie Mills Price. I don't know if she sells this one or not on that site, because this is quite a few years ago that was done. She does have other ones on her website, similar. I think I'm going to go around the bottom here. There we go. All right, and what else? Let's see what she said. Trying to go step by step for you guys of what she does. Let's see. Shading the Snowman. One shade bodies first with soft side loads of Mississippi mud down bodies and belly, face, arms, across the bottom. Float a side load tint of light French blue under the hat and scarves. Tint the bodies with very soft side loads of red. Tint the bodies. Okay, so I guess you can tint the bodies a little bit too on the sides. So whatever colors you have, so it's this barn or candy bar red, I think it was called. So just in a few areas, it says. So it's kind of strong though. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but we'll see. And, give them kind of a little bit of a variation of colors, I guess. Just blend it in a bit. And it says to take a charcoal French gray, I think it was. Light French gray. So I have This one is called Creme Brulee Blue. I thought it was. So it's kind of a, you can find a grayish blue would work. There's quite a few out there. You don't have to stick to the exact ones. And this has to be floated under the hat and scarves. I guess I should have put more. Scarf. This gives it a nice little glow. I guess I'll do it under here too. Then highlight the bodies with an open, in the open areas with a dry brush of warm white. Build that color up a bit for brightness, but don't confuse the floated snow drips for the highlights. So we need, I'm going to use a deer foot, and I need white. Here's my white. Hey, Mark. Let's see, some here. Some dry brush, which means take as much off of your brush as possible. And then just in the large areas, dry brush it. Bring out those areas. On the face. So it just gives a little bit of dimension in the areas. So it looks like it's coming towards you because it's the highlighted area. You just want to make sure that it's, you can't see a line. I'm going to put a little more on the face. Cheeks. maybe right here, a little dab. Okay. Cute. Okay, so we can put some, a little bit of that white or warm buttermilk color. We just want to put a highlight on this button. And then dry that. And then there's little holes and also a string or whatever you want to call it. You can take a marker or, where did I put those? I have markers. Where did they go? I put them away. Where did I put them? Let's see them. I'll have to use the white marker. I'm just going to use a green marker. That would be better. I don't have one right now, so I'm just going to use this so that there's, oh, I guess it'll work. Just a little hole there, and then take a black marker, make the dots where the holes would be. You'd have a little, probably won't see that. It's there. So we'll let that dry. Then okay, he has little cheeks that are got a little bit of color to them. So we're going to take that, where did I put it? Deerfoot stippler, and put some of that pinky, and just very lightly put a color in there on his cheeks. Dry brush. Okay. Crimson tide. The pictures are highlighted with warm white sloped crimson tide on the lower lip. Shade the bottom of the nose with ruffled red and little leaves on the forehead. Okay, so we need to float some of that color for his lip. Just a smidge. And his little nose has to be done. I think I'm going to use a smaller brush. A little darker. Some of that. This isn't the best brush. It's got some flyaway hairs on it. Always hard to find the right brush. Go. And I'm going to put a little bit of that buttermilk on the top as a little bit of a highlight. And then I'm just going to use this paint marker, put in his eyebrows. Right. And just a smidgen of a mark right there. And we have to put in, let's see, how they did their eyes. Okay. So a little bit of, we need a small brush again, of this buttermilk color. You just have to put a little bit of a glaze on top. You can always take your black and go in it on top of it again if you put too much, so don't worry about that. It's kind of hard. It's small space. Let's try that. Hey, Lena. Thank you. And I have the pattern for you guys to download if you want to do them after the stream. I'll put it in the description. They're cute. I really like I love doing these little guys. They're really cute on cards too. Here. Okay, and then let's see what next. Okay, so let's do the hat, and he's going to be the gray hat one. Let's see what they say. Scarf, plaid scarf, buttermilk, using a number 2 flat shade of brush. Black. Okay. Oh, Snowman. Okay, where is it? Gray hat, Snowman. Scarf. Let's see. Okay. With inky soft black, stripe the hat with fine lines. Stripe the hat. Okay. Okay, I have a grip liner here, the soft black, and we're just gonna, I have lots of water on my brush, so we're gonna go down those lines. You can use a marker if you want. Right? With a brush, mix of driftwood and soft black. Shade down the sides of the hat. What color was the hat? It's not saying. Maybe that's why they don't print this book anymore. They're not telling me something. The gray hat. They didn't tell you what to do for the hat. That's funny. Has to have a base coat. So, firework using the liner. Well, I'm going to put gray on. So I guess I'm going to make my own. Improvise. So I'm going to take some of this and just a smidge. And I'm just going to make my own. I'm going to have to go over top of this again. That's too funny. They don't tell you about the color, base color of the hat. Okay. So you can do your hat whatever color you want. There's different ways of going about it, but if you just use your lighter shades, like darken your colors for the shaded areas. So if I'm using gray, I'm going to use more black in my mix. For lighted areas, I'm going to use more white in the mix of the gray. And the same applies for if you were doing a green one, you would make it a little darker, either by adding just a tad of black to it, or red, which is the opposite color of the complement color, which will dull down your green. You know, I have, through the years, many years, I have found a lot of different books like this, like decorative painting books. You don't realize it until you start doing some of their paintings that they've goofed in some of their instructions. But it's a good way of figuring things out yourself when that happens. So I always, before, if you did this type of work on wood pieces or big canvas or something like that, it's always best to do one in your journal, just to test out, to make sure that the instructions are all the same, proper, the way they should be, because a lot of times they're a little messed up. So I have run into that quite a few times, or it just doesn't make sense. You kind of have to figure it out. It's kind of hard for you to see, but once it gets the shading done on it, you'll see it better. Hi, Alicia. Taking a break from cooking the big turkey. I'm so glad we don't have Thanksgiving so close to Christmas. It seems like you must feel like you're constantly cooking. Because you have party. Well, we won't this year, but typically you're partying and shopping and getting goodies cooked up and all kinds of cookie exchanges, and it's so. Whereas we just have it in October instead of November, which gives you a bit of calming before the big rush. All right, now I can go back, and I think I'm going to use my marker. Definitely good to take a break. My turkey is not defrost, so only ham this year. We will have turkey on. Ham's good too. Yeah, you can always cook it another day. Let's see. I can kind of see the lines through the paint here a little bit. So I might guess a bit, but it'll all work out. It'll all work fine. Okay. Now, let's see what they say. They tell you all the shading parts, but they didn't tell you what the base would be. So, all right. Okay, with a mix of driftwood and soft black, shade down the sides of the hat. Behind the hat band and around the objects. Okay, so I got to put the objects back in. Okay, so it was a heart and a, where did I put my pencil? I'm just going to use this charcoal pencil. Okay. The little snowman was there's 3. Oh well. Little hands here. And there was a heart and a little house. And then there's snow in here. Okay. So I have to shade around those areas. Hey, Norma. Good to see you. So it was a mix of fawn, driftwood, and soft black. Driftwood. What did I get for driftwood? See, they didn't list all the stuff for each one either. That's so weird. They missed colors too. Okay, so I'm going to go with just a tad darker with my gray. And I need some more glazing medium. I'm going to put it up here. And we'll just take some of that. And we have to around the bottom and around the items that are on his. I gotta mix more of that. Snowman. Down the sides. This one's a little bit dark. Take some of it off. I have to paint that snowman in a little bit. Get rid of those lines. There. All right, and down the bottom. Right in here. It's a bit dark. Here we go. We have little wrinkles, or not really folds, but right here. There. Dark. Oh, wrong color. All right. On the band. Now we have to do a really light color. So we'll just add a little bit more of that. As a highlight. See if that's going to be dark enough. Okay. So across the top, start off with, see if it's light enough. I don't know. That's not bad. Might need it a little bit darker or brighter, I think. And across here too, top of the hat. Where the little folds of the okay, Debbie. Hi, Kathy and everyone. Hi, thank Debbie and whoever I missed. Happy Thanksgiving to all you Americans. Hope you're having a good day. Okay, so then there's little dots. So I'm just going to use the end of my brush, my paintbrush, and oop, big. And then we'll have to let that dry. And let's Let's see what else. Okay. More of that darker color for shading. I have to shade a little bit more around that heart in the hat. So just around here. Around the mix that out. Right, and then the little house can be red for this burgundy color. If you have markers, use markers. And then my snowman needs to be with that buttermilk color, the same color. We'll have to put a couple coats on. Let that dry. And then a scarf is green. So I have this, it's Christmas green. And I'm going to lighten it with that buttermilk color. So I'm just going to take a bit of this green to the side, add some buttermilk to it, and make it a real nice light colored green. And that's going to be my base. And I want to paint the whole thing. Now, I missed this spot here, so go back. We'll highlight and shadow some of this scarf also. So I'll try and get as good a coat as you can on it if it's, and let it dry. I'm in Ontario, Marg. About 12 minutes away from Lake Huron in the middle. Where are you from? Are you Canadian? I think I'm going to make the hat darker blue. There's some nice blue here. This is Wedgwood blue. So I'm going to make it a little bit lighter, not too dark. So I'm going to just add some of this lighter blue here and just make a nice blue. I want to go over my hat band. You're in Chatham. Oh, that's not far. My grandparents were from Chatham. Okay, so now we want to dry that. I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to come back and put a little bit more of this darker color over here. Oh, darn, I touched it. Oh, there we go. Got my paint too close to each other. Okay, now I think I need, yep, that's dry. Now I need to take that kind of Wedgwood blue and highlight the Tad of black. Oh, that's too dark. That needs to have some more that brown color on it. I think it was this one. Correct. Doesn't look right to me. A little better. Just seemed too light. If it's under the hat, it should be darker. All right. Yeah, he's a little butterball. Okay, so now I take a little bit of green and darken it. Run out of space. You can barely see the. I think I need to mix some dark green here. Getting quiet. Sorry, guys. Just trying to do the shading here. Okay, this needs to come down here. Don't need it down that far. And along the bottom. To darken this here on the edge. I guess I should wait till it's drier. And put the stripes in. And let it dry. Thanks, Elise. Well, it might be melting. This weather isn't very good lately. Cold, then warm, cold. He's kind of out of shape. Okay. Needs to be a little more. I think it needs to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to add the glaze on it just to bring it down a notch. Okay, I think I'll do the twigs. So I'm going to just use my, I should have brown. Oh, here's some brown marker, a whole lot easier. No, it's just one of those, I think it's a, can't see what brand it is. So we'll just start off with the outer edge and work our way in. Just make it up as we go. I've lost my lines and I'm lazy. I don't want to have to put that thing on again. Just add leaves to it. You could just leave it too. You don't have to put these on. It's yours. You can make it whatever you want. Make some of these stems a little bigger. Right. Thicker than others. Twigs. And where else? So we need, nope, I guess I could put twigs on the snowman here. Limbs. And I'm going to take the deer foot and some of that white and just whiten that area of his belly up. So it looks like he's standing out a little bit better. Maybe a little more on here. Okay, and then get a real small brush. We'll make some leaves. Let's see. Do I have? This should do it. Let's try it. You can mix the different greens that you have, and yeah, that'll work. Some medium, glazing medium, and then just dab, press, lift. You can go back in and highlight some of them if you want. It's my sub pump, if you're wondering. Getting a lot of rain here. I'm just mixing light and dark colors. Different strokes in here, maybe a little bit of highlights here and there. Here. And we can add our little face to our snowman, I guess, now. So nothing crazy. And a few buttons. And then maybe a, I don't know, red little ribbon around his neck. And then I can take my white one and do the heart. Or not the red one, the white one. Did I say red? And it's just like twigs, so kind of like a bunch of twigs going around in a wreath, kind of. And the little house, it's a birdhouse, so we'll put the little, and then little like that. And do I have a red pen? Maybe I'll try it with a liner. Some white, kind of a pinky color. And we'll just hat. He needs his nose long, a little bit dark. Ooh, too much water around here. A little darker. White. Lip. Make it a little lighter there. And a bit of a highlight on his cheek, tops of his cheek. I'm going to put a little bit of a highlight there. And just in the center. Let's do some snow. I'm going to take my Deerfoot and a little bit of that buttermilk with the white. So I don't want it bright, bright. And then we're going to have a little bit of snow on here. This hat. We'll pounce some of this on. And on the edge of this here. dry it off. I still have a little bit of white on my brush, so I'm just dry brushing along the top part here. Make it a little smoother. Add green on it. Get a little lighter. And then on the scarf too. Go around the sides here to lighten it. Give it a little bit of a highlight. And we want a fairly bright area too. So just on the side here. And right here. And then I guess I could do that with a marker. Little tassels or fringe on his scarf. You could use pen or markers, whatever you want. Then a little bit of a shading there. Right here, this color needs. Right in there. Running out of paint. No, we got to do the bottom. Okay, so the steer foot again. Wipe that off a bit and just dry brush around the base of it. Blend it in a little bit. You don't want it totally blended in because you want to see some lighter and darker areas. Just let it dry a bit. I'm just going to go back up here and add some highlights to it. On there I do. The pure white. Remember I had a little bit of the buttermilk in there. So now you can do the real true blue or white. That'll make it stand out a little bit more now. Once that's dry, you can go over top of that, just on the top though, just not all of it, just skip some spots because that gives it shading. right. I think this little guy up here, this snowman, he needs a little bit of highlight. Maybe I'll do it with a marker. Just along the edge. I'm going to put a little bit more highlight on here. And in his eye. I think that needs a little bit more dark in here. Maybe I'll use my other shading brush. All right. A little bit of white on the little house. That. Some white on the branches, maybe. A little bit of no. Here and there. Snowman don't move very fast, so the snow would sit on them. And maybe a little bit of snow on the I'm gonna brighten this guy up a bit too. And a little bit of dark on. Heart. There. Is he done? Let's see, what else could we do? How about some snow? We need some snow. There. He looks like he is saying, I sure hope it is a long winter this year. Thanks, Devin. Yep. Because he's kind of getting a little lumpy from all the thaws. So. He's cute. All right, so I'll put that traceable up for you. So that's the traceable that I'll put up online for you, and then you can play with it. Do whatever you want. So this was just scrapbook paper on the background. And you could do all kinds of stuff. If you wanted to, you could actually use a napkin and glue down a napkin so it looks like a scarf. That would be cool. So I hope everybody will have a great day today, and all you Americans, happy Thanksgiving. And we will see you again shortly. Actually, Thursday, tomorrow. The Blooming Artists members, I do have your class for tomorrow, and it'll be at 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow afternoon. And as far as colors in that, you can pick whatever colors you want. Don't get too crazy though. I would limit it to 4 plus a black and a white. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow, those that are in the membership. And if you're looking, want to know more about the membership, the join button down below, down here somewhere, there's a join. Click it, and it'll tell you all the information you need to know for each level. There's 3 levels. So I'll let you guys go and enjoy your dinner, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now, everyone. Stay creative.